Rob, let me ask you a question though. So Rob, Secret Service aside, we get the security part of it. The actual conversation with the president, because you're sitting literally in the room. There's multiple people in the room, including Secret Service. We can't close the vault door because of security measures. How did you feel? What did you take away? What was your biggest takeaway from him as a person, the interview itself, and the topics? Like, how would you gauge it?
I wish we had another hour and a half. My biggest takeaway was that and what's exciting, we just scratched the tip of the iceberg with President Trump. And I believe that the collaboration that happened yesterday and was aired today is the first of many. Mm-hmm. And what's exciting about that is the way that Trump came in. You can tell that, look, the guy is 78 years old. Mm-hmm. He is, I would say at this point, running harder than any 78-year-old in human history.
Ever.
The guy is in Wisconsin one day, then Texas the same afternoon. Like when we did the UFC thing, he was at a rally in Georgia, jumped on a plane, and was walking out at the main event at UFC all within 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's like there's multiple Trumps. You think there's multiple Bidens? Maybe there's multiple Trumps.
Vinny, don't answer that.
No, but hold on. I mean,
don't answer that.
To get that Trump. I mean, I think it's hard. And by the way, all fueled. Big Macs, Diet Cokes, fish fillets. Let's go.
So he comes in, and you could tell that he has been working hard. He walks in. He is a little bit quieter than normal.
Yes.
And then there was a shift in the interview about 30 minutes in where I don't know what clicked differently for Donald, but it was like, you ever hear that talent recognizes talent?
Yeah. Game recognizes
game.
He did.
Get it right.
There was a moment where Trump came in with respect for Pat. He did. But there was a moment where game recognized game, and they were equals. And then the rest of the hour of the hour of the interview is the most exciting. It's the most informative.
Yes.
And there's not, like, this wasn't the guy. You watch him compared to what you watch with Kamala Harris. They're going to get out there and tell you that Donald Trump is deranged. He gets on stage and gets lost and dances for 45 minutes at a time. He was dancing because there was a medical emergency.
Two people were having like heart problems.
Exactly. So he was like, hey, I'm going to hold off and I'm going to dance and entertain before we get back to the rally. What you watched today with Pat, with Donald Trump, is that he can answer questions. He can go in depth. He is not afraid to answer tough questions. You watch Kamala get pressed, and she freaked out with Brett Baer yesterday. So don't let them sit here and tell you that Donald Trump is the unhinged lunatic that's angry. The guy I watched yesterday, he said the emotion that he feels is anger, but the anger is for what they've done to this country, for what they've done to him, what they've done to this family, but what they've done to this country. So I don't think Donald Trump is this deranged lunatic, and this is a guy that voted for Joe Biden in 2020 because I thought Donald Trump was a deranged lunatic. I've met the man. I've watched the man. I've seen him over the past 4 years, and I go, oh, he's not the crazy one. It's actually the people that call him crazy are the crazy ones, and it's total projection.
And can I build on that?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
You said, what was your biggest takeaway? You said game recognizes game. The moment, and we're all watching, live in effect, it was almost like two fighters in the beginning of a fight when they're like, and then all of a sudden, boom, someone got hit in the face. Whoa. And then the two were just jabbing, going back and forth, and then it turned into a real interview. And you always notice with Trump, at the end, when Trump he's doing the, Vinny, show me how.
His goes.
He goes like this. But when he goes like this.
Yeah.
And he gets real like this, there's something going on inside. And what Pat did, he asked him that one question about, at first,
with
your
family,
kid,
with the relationship with the father.
They idolize you. Then because Trump was
idolized,
famous
loved
everywhere.
Them.
Then he went to villainize. Trump's in this humanizing area, and it's very hard to humanize Trump, but he's actually a human.
Yeah.
And you think he's just sort of a machine and a robot, but there's a lot of anger going on in there.
And rightly so, and he deserved it. And I realized something, guys, in the podcast, and you guys will see it for you guys that don't. He's sitting like this because he's in this chair, this type of chair. Because normally it's the white ones, but it wasn't that comfortable.
Is that the chair?
This is the chair.
Is that why you were sniffing the chair before? Okay, all right.
So if you guys notice, his hands were here, and then he got comfortable because then this started happening, okay? And then the emotional side, he kind of got,
It's in there.
It's in there. So guys, if you haven't, trust me, you'd want to watch this. And you know what I took away from it, Rob? I besides it being, humanizing, and there was a conversation, Tom, he got to prove all those false things, all the crazy, nut, unhinged. He's losing it. He's 80. I didn't see zero. Now that you said 78, I go, holy crap. But my mom is 76. She's on point All right, she's actually really, really good. This guy, I mean, she does funny stuff and she forgets stuff. But he was, bro, to go on that long, get in a car, leave, go do another event in the vehicle. You came, Tom, earlier in the morning, he did another event.
Univision.
But but at the end of the day, guys, this guy, yes, he said some crazy-ish throughout the years. Okay, crazy, wild, whatever. He's
They're
Donald Trump.
eating the
Yeah,
dogs.
he's a New
Oh,
Yorker,
sorry.
whatever. But the message, the what he cares about, America first. It's undeniable. As much as you want to try to hate him, or as much as you're brainwashed to hate this guy, the numbers don't lie. Tom, what you're saying? Numbers?
Words talk, numbers scream.
And his numbers, guess what, are screaming through the freaking roof. You cannot tell me, you can't tell you, even if you're a Trump hater, you can't lie to yourself that this past 4 years has been a complete poop show. I don't care who you are. You can't debate me on this, okay? 4 years of Trump, 4 years of Biden, Harris. It's undeniable, guys. And we're going to get into the Brett Baer interview, which I am shocked. Even Trump said in our PBD podcast, he goes, I don't think he's going to be hard. I don't think he's going to be hard on her. He did the complete opposite. He freaking went in. And you want to talk about wrapping up? Her people, within 5 or 10 minutes, Brett Baer said, we're like, good. And he was like, no. Keep going. You guys got to see a side of her that was angry. It was bitter. It was vindictive. But what's the Googling search right now?
Testy.
Yeah, she is testy.
Feisty.
She's testy. No. It said testy, which is
think,
another word. You know what that word testy is?
Did you get
It's the
into
B
that
word.
whole interview? Did you watch the whole interview with Brett Baer?
I watched it this morning, yeah.
Are we going to talk about that?
Oh, yeah,
We'll discuss that?
100%. I got some clips, too. But I just want to make sure. So, Tom, do you have anything else on the Trump? Because I want to know what you and Umberto, what you guys felt about the podcast.
Well, I thought that basically Pat said it best in the intro. He said, look, if you're already decided for Trump and you are on his side for this election, you're going to like the interview. If you are not in favor of Trump, I think you'll also like the interview because it was fair, it was open, and it was complete. Mm-hmm. And to the people, the few that were undecided, and in the podcast, Trump said, I don't think there's that many undecideds left right now. That may be internal research, it may be things on his team. I respect it. But I think that what came across is that people could see a leader, people could see a BS filter in their own minds. That guy doesn't look crazy. That guy, you're telling me. So later that same day, Kamala Harris was on Fox, interviewed by Brett Baer, and kept interrupting herself just to say, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. But we're talking about Trump. And, he's crazy. Anybody that, you don't even have to have a fair mind to watch the podcast and said this guy wants to lead. He's got plans to lead. He's specifics, and he certainly doesn't seem crazy. Mm-hmm. He seems very, very measured and very, very, very straight. So my feeling is that I think that if there are undecided out there, they would have seen this and looked at it very, very positively because it's, every interview like this is an opportunity to see a little something you didn't see. Just like the J.D. Vance, the VP debate
with Walz.
What did America get? An opportunity to see something they didn't see. Yeah, with Vance and Walz. And the Republicans came away with, according to the polls, more enthusiasm for Vance and seeing the wisdom of the choice.
Mm-hmm. And Omerta, what were you going to say? And then, Rob, you want to say something?
To what Tom's point, my wife is one of those independent voters. She's kind of in the middle right now. She's leaning way more towards Trump than she is Kamala. The text that she just sent me, the comments from Trump's interviewers are amazing. People are saying this is Trump's best interview, and he really needed this. He looked calm and casual and looked like he was able to be himself. That is the independent voters' takeaway.
In real time, we're watching the real polls because your wife is she's not a Trump loving.
No, she has voted Democrat in the past. In fact, her and her sisters have this ongoing debate because she's one of 4 sisters. One of the sisters is pro for Kamala Harris.
Does she have orange hair?
No, but the only position, this is the best part, the only position that she can explain is abortion.
Of course.
My wife has a sister who's a lesbian.
Yeah.
Who is a diehard Trump supporter.
Does she have orange hair and a mullet?
No, but she is all in on the Trump train.
Okay.
So the one person who...
Well, because she's not really going to have an abortion because, the lesbian...
I mean...
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how math works or
But
biology works, but typically
very interesting.
scissoring isn't the...
you ask somebody.
Way to
Yeah.
get
I
it.
don't really want to think about her.
Yeah,
concern.
don't. Just let him finish.
But you think about somebody who identity politics could play to, right? Because of their sexual
Yes.
orientation.
Yeah, of course.
And instead of letting identity politics play to them and they choose to align themselves with Democrats because they're the gay-friendly, abortion-friendly party, this person who is gay is looking strictly at policy and going, you know what, the personality doesn't matter to me. The policies that Trump is offering is way better than anything Kamala's offering because Kamala isn't offering anything.
Yeah.
And when she does offer something, it's something that's grandiose that she doesn't explain how it can be paid for. So I think these people are the people that are making their way towards Trump, who
love
in
it.
2020, they rode the fence and they went with Biden and Kamala because they were the less abrasive party. And even now they're like, I can't
can't do
do
it.
4 more years of this.
Can I tell you the most important conversation to possibly being had? You said your wife has 3 other sisters?
Yes.
There's 4 of them.
And one's a
One's a lesbian, one's a married, one's yada, yada, yada. Those women right there are going to control the fate of our country because that, to women, is by far and away the most important
topic.
topic. It just is. And I get it. I mean, I have a sister, I have a mother, I have a grandma. Like, yeah. But at the end of the day, with the border, with what's going on around the world, with inflation, with immigration, with all these policies out there, from a dude's perspective, abortion is not in our top 3, top 5. So there is a gender divide, gender gap between what's important to everyday Americans and then a lot of women. And even married women are breaking towards Trump. So it's typically single, liberal women it's abortion over everything. And it's a very, very emotional decision for them. And I get it. And I hope that those women have those types of conversations to talk amongst themselves. Because I've learned this the hard way. Women don't want to hear men talking to them. Women gotta feel it out for themselves to figure out what works best for them. And I would hope that a lot of these women who are undecided come to the realization that, like, I'd rather live in a safe, secure, prosperous, amazing country. And then maybe my abortions aren't exactly as triggered as.
And Rob, I know you want to say something, and I don't know about you guys. You know what one of the what I'm attracted to, voter wise, people wise. That's number one. Number 2, people in the gay. I hate LGBT. I'm not saying that. People, gay men and women that are pro-Trump. That to me, especially minority gays, because they didn't drink the shitty, lying Democratic Kool-Aid. They didn't let them. They were just like, guys, listen.
Vinny, I think
As a gay Jewish guy, I gotta tell
Yeah,
you,
I know.
this is something
You're a gay Jew.
I think it's something different. They tasted socialism. If you go down to Hialeah, anywhere, in Miami, you ask any Cuban, they're like all out with Trump because they know what it is.
Yes.
They know where we're heading. I know where we're heading.
Ooh,
I know where we're heading. I've seen a nice country. Chile was the number 1 country in South America. It took one leftist government to take it down 3 pegs, So we know America is bigger, but that doesn't mean it can't fail or it can't go down a peg. We have like adversaries like China. We have adversaries like Russia. And it can be taken away any minute now. So you need to fight like hell. That's what it is.
Can I tell you why what Humberto said is so important? Because I'm born and raised in Miami, and I totally understand that perspective. So the Cuban vote has dominated Miami and South Florida politics, and they came in with Reagan. But it's not just the Cubans anymore. The Venezuelans,
100%.
who have fled Maduro, they're coming in, and if you're looking at polls, Tom, you could probably speak to this.
Well,
probably
let Tom
off the
go
top of your
right
head.
after this.
The Latino vote, the Hispanic vote, has getting closer and closer and closer to Trump's favor. And if you would have told me that with everything Trump said in 2016, they're not sending their best. They're sending their. And now that they're almost winning the Latino vote, because there's a lot of people coming to America that are like, socialism, I don't play this game, not happening in America.
Wait, there's before you go, Humberto, there was a study that was just released. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up. It's specifically about South Florida Latino voters.
Yes.
Marist College study found that 58% of Hispanic voters in Florida are now leaning towards voting for President Donald Trump in the 2024 election.
Yes.
Here in South Florida.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
But that's not
there.
shocking to me. Because
no,
the Cuban and the Venezuelan.
Yeah, and you
they
nailed
don't
it.
like
Like
socialismo.
they're fleeing a place
Yes.
that they hate the communists, and then they're coming here. Then you have Kamala Harris, whose father is a Marxists that, by the way, we can't find this guy, not even for one interview. It's not like they're lying to you. It's not like we're making this up. Tom, you have some of these stats for the polling and everything, right?
Yeah, you know what? Words talk, numbers scream, and we can all talk about this. But the last recorded poll is a speculation, right?
Yes,
like a weather
of course. That's a
report,
poll.
kind of like a hurricane report. Where do we think the hurricane's going? That's a poll. It says the results of an election, when we can go look at it, there's numbers screaming, right?
Yes.
So what can we do? We can go, oh, wait a minute. Let's go to the governor's election less than 2 years ago. Or exactly 2 years ago.
Yes.
And let's go take a look at what happened. And let's go take a look at what under DeSantis' leadership, led by Hispanic voters, Dade County went for DeSantis. There were two, I believe, 3 sub-counties in Florida that were significant. One was Orange County in Orlando that went Democrat, and I believe Broward County went Democrat. But you see, there was a great swell. And what were the people saying in exit polls? First of all, we have the numbers. So we know how they voted. So when they're telling us things about how they voted, we can believe them because the numbers say, well, Dade County doesn't go unless the Hispanic voters go. What do you think? And they were speaking very loudly. And they were saying, we immigrated with great difficulty, many of us, as true refugees, not just, who are you? Can I get a free phone and some stuff if I say refugee? Yeah, sure. Okay, refugee. Okay, I am a, I'm a political, I see
A political refugee.
I'm an assailant.
Asylum seeker.
I'm an assailant. No, not assailant, Dad.
Oh, asylum. Yeah.
Asylum. I'm sorry.
Political
Asylum.
prisoner.
Yeah.
From Cuba.
And so they go there, and guess what? The people are saying, we worked our butt off to get to the freedom of America, to get here, and to come here legitimately through these things. And then all these other people are just like showing up. The legal immigrants, the Hispanic legal immigrants over 35 down in Miami, and you see this, do not care for what is happening with the mob walking across.
Tom,
at all.
myself, okay, I did everything legally. I worked my whole life because it was my dream to come here. Went to school, never had a parking ticket, never got arrested, did like all my degrees and whatever just to come here, okay? I spent over like $15,000 out of my own pocket to pay for a lawyer, to pay for travel fees, to pay for everything. Wow. And then I come in and then I see this guy just jumping the line.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
no,
you're stupid, my friend.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what
you know
you
what
should
those
do
voters did?
is go back to Mexico and walk in this way and get everything gratis for free. Just stupid, man.
I would have gotten money. Like if you see all
Yeah.
the loans, like house payments and everything, like what's the point?
Yeah. I want to
Well,
ask. Go
hang
ahead.
on. Let me.
Well, how dare you
let
do
me
things
add
the
one more
right
thing
way,
to it.
Humberto?
Yeah, hold
There's no
Now-
incentive.
How dare you wait in line and do it the right
that's
way?
the problem. There's no incentive to do things the right way.
But now,
backwards.
now you know what? I'll put a period at the end of the sentence for you. It also comes with great leadership. And Mayor Francis Suarez has led economically, led the diversity of Miami, and there's a huge reason why DeSantis carried Dade County. I had the privilege to sit down with Xavier, with Andrew, and there was a reception. There's only about 12 people there.
Xavier is his dad.
Xavier's dad, the mayor emeritus. He was mayor of Miami.
He was the mayor of Miami 40 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's why he's emeritus.
Yeah.
It's just like tremendous people.
Family legacy.
He's very well read, has written a lot of great books if you have any chance to read the stuff that Xavier has written. And what was very interesting, they were constantly talking about the bright future for Miami and where they were taking it and how crypto and the entrepreneurial community, those weren't campaign slogans. Those are foundational elements that they want to bring to Miami. And guess what? The voters see it. They see great leadership. They see great success coming from this wonderful family of tremendous Hispanic heritage. And then everybody on the outside looks at Florida and they're all confused. Mm-hmm. Wow, how can the Hispanics suddenly, one election, suddenly show up? Gosh, I don't. No, you don't understand it. The leadership of the Suarez family, the leadership that's been in Miami, and everything else that's come down to it, that is how DeSantis carries Dade County. That is how the entire state of Florida proudly steps to the conservative side to say, I want to do it myself. I want to have the pride of doing it myself. I want the esteem of seeing it grow up my family. And you know what? You folks that jump the line, are really not into that. And it's very interesting to me how Florida, if you take a look at it, look at the number of illegals that are in Florida that have come across the borders versus the other states. Texas doesn't put them on buses and send them here.
Nope.
Texas puts them on buses and sends them
Martha
to New York
Vineyard.
and say, why don't you go check in with the mayor that says he's a sanctuary city?
Exactly.
Eric Adams will have a phone for you, an EBT card, all kinds of things. Get there before winter so you can get your free housing because it does get cold.
Of course, yeah, it does. Good.
But Tom, you like baseball? I'm gonna let you into a Latino secret. You know what the perfect place is? White rules, Latino parties. That's why Miami is the greatest city to ever exist.
This is where I've lived my whole life.
Only
Don't let
comparable
'em
to
know.
Rome. Like
Let
it's
Tom
absolutely
know in on the
amazing.
secret.
White rules.
White
tell you
rules,
something.
Latino party.
Latino
Humberto,
party.
if I
And
start
then
to go to the clubs in Miami now and I see Tom the Biz Dog show up, I'm blaming you,
gonna
okay?
do this.
Tom, you stay home,
And-
all right?
okay.
Let me do what I do.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.